They tried to bury it. They tried to distract you. But the recordings exist and someone's been sitting on them. First, Ed Martin's nomination mysteriously vanishes. Then Trump drops a bombshell appointment, but that's nothing, because an even bigger tape just surfaced. A voice, a secret, a betrayal. What Pam Bondi whispered in confidence and what the Biden regime feared you hear might finally collide in one earth-shattering revelation. And it's all happening right now, right here. And that's the video. I'll bring you in 1 minute. Let's start with this clip first. Major move yesterday. Ed Martin is out. You remember Tom Tillis, right?
To have more time and potentially work them through. But at this point, I've indicated to the White House I wouldn't support his nomination.
Well, Tom, you got your wish now, didn't you? President Trump had a little bit to say on it before we go to the maneuver made immediately afterwards and before the mega recordings that just came out.
He's a terrific person, and he wasn't getting the support from people that I thought. You know, he's done a very good job. Crime is down 25% in D.C. During his period of time. I'm very disappointed in that, but I have so many different things that I'm doing now with the trade.
Trump, you weren't the only one disappointed. No, I was disappointed because Ed Martin would have been the perfect pick to back up Kash Patel and what he needs to do, but you found another way around it, didn't you? No, not the plot twist that Ed Martin came out with, showing some lighthearted humor in the midst of major disappointment. Ed Martin has done an amazing job as interim U.S. attorney and will be moving to the Department of Justice as the new director of the Weaponization Working Group, Associate Deputy Attorney General and Pardon Attorney. Genius maneuver, because it still allows him to work with Kash Patel. You remember the executive order ending the weaponization of the federal government. It goes on, followed by, I apologize, from the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who will take center focus in this video today. February 5th, 2025, restoring the integrity and credibility of the Department of Justice. Some major points in this. I'll let you read it full screen. What will this weaponization group be looking into? Special Counsel Jack Smith and his staff, who spent more than $50 million targeting President Trump. On top of that, federal cooperation with Alvin Bragg, Letitia James. On top of that, improper investigation tactics and unethical prosecution of those involved with J6 was the very reason why Tillis gave for his non-support of Ed Martin. So you don't think he's going to have a bone to pick there, do you? Those in the FBI who went after Catholic religious practices and affiliated them with violent extremists and criminal activity, this will be looked into. Those who protested at school board meetings and the inappropriate application of justice by the Justice Department against them will be researched. Freedom of access to clinical entrances and the illegitimate prosecution of whistleblowers who dared to say something. And now Ed Martin will take lead on many of these directives. So, a loss in one way, a victory in another. What does Trump do immediately after? I'm pleased to announce that Judge Jeanine Pirro will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. That's right, the same Jeanine Pirro you've seen on Fox News, co-host of The Five, will now take that post. Immediately thereafter, announcement made, FBI opens formal investigation of New York Attorney General Letitia James. The wheels are moving. Before we get to our big story coming off this criminal referral, well, now it's something completely different, isn't it? You were never meant to connect these dots. These were buried under headlines, under layers of spin. We're going to peel that all back. But think for a moment. Why was Pam Bondi talking to a complete stranger about something that wasn't released to you and I until days later? Well, we found out now, because almost word for word it was repeated, because she was called to task. This is a devastating development for President Trump, who's trying to contend with major trade deals International conflicts abound. The loss of Ed Martin's appointment. And it's all recorded. Highly disappointed in this. And we're going to get to that story in a minute. Before I do, if you still believe in what I'm doing here, and I know so many more of you do because this channel is growing exponentially, and that is thanks to the support of each and every one of you who've joined as members here, who've provided super thanks, who've simply subscribed. Whatever your means, it's okay. Sharing this video, your comments, especially when I put up a pinned one, means the world to me. And those of you who've taken the extra step to go over to restrictedrepublic.com, the platform Lisa Haven and I created for you, for news with no commercials, no interruptions, beholden to no one, restricted by no one. There's a reason we created that platform. Exclusive content daily, content you can't get anywhere else. And we need you there today. It keeps these lights and these cameras on, and we will keep expanding this network. If this is the style of news you believe in, black and white, simple concepts, and these huge, grayed up concepts they try to hide from you, just brought down into real simple facts. And I pull this out because by the grace of God, we are allowed to continue to do this. And trust me, folks, it is a growing battle every day, and it is growing more dangerous every day. And your support not only helps to protect freedom of the press, it continues to allow us to expose the truths that they are trying to hide from you. But now let's get back to the video.
The projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
This was the leader of the free world, and people turned a blind eye to it. He actually still believes that he would have beaten Trump. In what reality?
And you had previously said that you thought that you would have won. Since then, Donald Trump won all the battleground states and made inroads with almost every major demographic, from working class voters to Hispanic men to black men. Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he still got 7 million fewer votes.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people didn't show up. Number one.
Nowhere in your incoherent rattling in either clip was there even a semblance of any thought process whatsoever. Joe Biden jumping in to save him. But Trump has a trump card now, doesn't he? Remember the Robert Hur special counsel interview with Joe Biden, the one that is rumored to have been edited, the transcript, the one that Merrick Garland classified as confidential, privileged information so no one could ever read it. Well, now rumors coming out. There's an audio recording, which we all know there is, and Trump is eyeing the release of that interview, blocked by the Biden administration, is making plans to release this on Politico. The audio of former President Joe Biden's interview with Robert Hur, a special counsel who investigated Biden's handling of classified documents and raised questions about his mental acuity. The details of the plan are in flux, and it's not clear whether President Donald Trump and his advisors have made a final decision to make the audio public. You don't think they will? Do you not see what's being staged right now? Merrick Garland deemed it so critical it doesn't come out that he classified it at the highest level to assure no one ever heard it. So critical is it, and so serious, now all of a sudden Joe Biden's coming out of the woodwork, coming off vacation, doing interviews, trying to say he's a good guy. And he's enlisting veteran Democratic operatives to help defend his reputation for what's about to be released. And I wish that was the worst story today. But it's not. Trump here announcing the new trade deal with the EU, the UK, new market access, $5 billion tariff revenue, $6 billion UK tariffs going from 5.1 down to 1.8 on our goods, but at the opposite way, we're going from 3.4 to 10. It is a win overall. Trump needs nothing standing in his way right now. He's got a lot standing in his way, though. One is Jerome Powell of the Fed. You remember this message he sent April 17th. The ECB is expected to cut interest rates for the seventh time, and yet too late, Jerome Powell of the Fed, who is always too late and wrong, yesterday issued a report which was another in typical complete mess. Oil prices down, grocery, even eggs are down. The U.S. is getting rich on tariffs. Too late, should have lowered interest rates like the ECB long ago. But he had certainly lower them now. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough, and last night he explodes on him again. Too late, Jerome Powell's a fool who doesn't have a clue. Other than that, I like him very much. Sarcasm. Oil and energy way down, almost all cost, groceries and eggs down, virtually no inflation, tariffs, money pouring into the U.S., the exact opposite of too late, enjoy yourself. Something had Trump on edge, didn't it? You could tell in that message he has a major victory with the UK, and yet he's still on edge in that message. And why? Well, I think Kash Patel may have given you a little indication as to why. Here, speaking with Senator Kennedy, and this gives the lead-in to what Pam Bondi was just recorded stating.
Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Okay, now we get a little bit more technical. Why haven't the Epstein files come out? Why is the FBI taking so long? Why is Bondi and the DOJ taking so long? Even I get anxious. I push for them to do this. But then we finally get a number, don't we? Over 10,000 recordings. Each one will have to be individually scrutinized, the victim identified, protected, blurred out, name removed, so it can't become part of the public record. CSAM, child sexual abuse material. Federal law prohibits the production, advertisement, transportation, distribution, receipt, sale, access with the intent to view, and possession of any child sexual abuse material. 10,000 plus audio recordings. But why did we find that out? Because the government was being transparent with us? We would like to believe that. Except we find out after Pam Bondi's announcement that I played for you yesterday of all these audio recordings that they're combing through, now we find out why she stated that. It appears her hand was forced by none other than James O'Keefe. He caught her in an audio recording with a complete stranger in a D.C. restaurant who found out about it before you and I did, and we may never have found out about it if James O'Keefe didn't reach out to the DOJ and let Pam Bondi know exactly what he had recorded. Tens of thousands of videos of little kids was the statement to a complete stranger in a D.C. restaurant. Listen in here for 1 minute.
No, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is...
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
No, you know what it is? There are tens of thousands of videos, and it's all with little kids, so they have to go through every one.
Now, Houston, we have a problem, don't we? So, what's your thought here? Would Pam Bondi have released that information to you if she wasn't busted by James O'Keefe? Yes, she would have, or no, she wouldn't. Simple answer in the comments below, because my blood is boiling over this one. Not at James O'Keefe. Oh no, he did his job. Investigative journalism is nonpartisan. You're either doing your job or you're not. Did that force her hand to tell you and I, the American public, what was going on behind the scenes, and why was it so difficult just to say it? It's a big question for me right now, and devastational for the Trump administration, who is working in the era of complete transparency. And why is Pam Bondi talking to a complete stranger about something before she releases it to you and me? It's a big question, folks. Not a broadcast I like to bring you, a broadcast I have to bring you. Because journalism is nonpartisan. And I promised you from the beginning, President Trump and his administration do something right, I'll be the first to tell you. They do something wrong, I will not hesitate to tell you. It's what you get here, right? I love you all. Can't wait to see your comments below. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.